Today is April 8th, 2022, and this is your daily Half-Life 3 update. There is no news about Half-Life 3, so I wanted to take this time to mention the Patreon real quick, and I'm going to be mentioning the Patreon more frequently in these videos. I'm going to try and really buckle down here, bear down, and focus on the Patreon. So first on Patreon, and I just put this up today, is a Patreon exclusive review for Batman that came out last month in March. Of course, The Batman, the new one that just came out. And that's going to be part of my exclusive movie reviews that I'm putting just on Patreon. And besides The Batman, I have Spider-Man No Way Home, which I don't even remember making that video. I also have Scream, a spoiler-free and a spoiler-filled review for Scream. Scream 5, of course, is what I'm talking about. The Pirates of the Caribbean franchise and the National Treasure franchise. I watched all of those movies in those respective franchises and talked about them briefly. I say briefly, I feel like those videos were really long. So yeah, exclusive movie reviews, that's one part of what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing more. I'm not planning on going to the theater too much recently, so I might be seeing movies that I haven't seen before. I think I might watch Eraserhead for the first time. So that might be my next exclusive review coming out, is Eraserhead. Or maybe No Time to Die, because I don't think I ever talked about No Time to Die, and I'm just in the middle of rewatching it right now, so that might be next if I decide it's worth talking about. And also, I'm going to be doing, I am doing Patreon exclusive commentary tracks for video games, playthroughs, whatever you want to call them. I don't like using Let's Play. I don't like using that term. So what I have on the Patreon is a full playthrough of Half-Life. That's my first time playing it. 20 parts, I think. And so that's all on Patreon already. I'm also in the middle of Portal 2, playing Portal 2 for the first time. So a couple parts are already on there. I'm gonna keep uploading parts once I figure out a new recording setup for playing video games here. And I'm also the Half-Life 2 Overcharged is going to become Patreon exclusive as well. So I'll have two games that are going to be on the Patreon and 2 games that are going to be on the YouTube. Because I am going to continue I'm going to continue releasing on YouTube for the public Splinter Cell Chaos Theory and the first Fallout, which I really want the first Fallout to be on YouTube, because I feel like as many people deserve to see that as possible, because that game is something else, and playing it for the first time is an interesting experience. And I'm also going to have the Hazard Time show on there as well, which I'm not really sure exactly how that's going to work, because I haven't done one yet, because until now there was no person on that tier, so I figured why do it if there's no one who's even going to watch it. But now there is someone on that tier, so I'm gonna make it. My idea of it now is it's gonna be some way of getting the fans involved in that. I figured it'd be probably gonna be me and Dimitri, and the fans would give us suggestions of topics or questions to talk about, and then me and Dimitri would talk about these questions and topics. And unlike the podcast, it would actually be our faces. So the podcast would just be our voices, and it would be whatever we wanted to talk about in that specific moment. But yeah, and the Hazard Time show will be a little different. I think we're going to do about 2 of those a month. Maybe we'll do more than 2 of them a month, but it'll at least be 2 a month. Yeah. And then that's the stuff. You can go to Patreon, you check out the tiers. There's other things that are more specific. Like, there's a tier if you were so inclined and feel like it, that you could record an update, and I'll just put it on there. If you want to do that, go ahead. There's also a tier where you will be a guest on a podcast, and we'll get on a Skype or whatever and talk about a topic. So yeah, so just check out the Patreon, check out the tiers, watch the Batman review, and I think some of that stuff is worth it. I'm gonna keep doing. I'm also gonna try and keep doing stuff here as well. I feel like I'm gonna use this, maybe just talking about random things that come to my head. Like, I really want to talk about Halo some more. I also really want to talk about the upcoming Fallout TV show. And I'm going to also continue doing episodic reviews for Lost, which I want to get back into Lost reviews because Lost is the thing that I wanted my channel to be about when I first created the channel. Along the way, it somehow got co-opted by Half-Life 3. I'm a little hazy on the details. It was a while ago. I don't know exactly how that happened. But Lost is what I wanted this channel to be about. I think, if I'm not mistaken, my Lost Season 1, Episode 1 review was the first thing I ever even put out on this channel. It wasn't day one. It was Lost, I think, the first Psych movie, Jigsaw maybe. I think that was early up there. It was a couple episodes of Lost, a couple movie reviews, and then I ended up with the idea of the Half-Life 3 updates. So yeah, that's just kind of everything going forward. Movie reviews, video game commentaries. The podcast is going to be a little bit more infrequent because I'm going to try and focus on the Hazard Time show for a little bit, which they kind of seem like the same thing, but I'm going to try and work on making them a little different in ways. And yeah, so the Patreon, it's patreon.com/hazardtime. The link will be in the description below. And I'm going to try and keep you guys updated on new things that I'm putting out there. I'm going to try and have a lot of exclusive content on there, so to make this as worth it as possible. And yeah, make sure, at least check it out. I think some of that stuff is pretty good. And yeah, that has been your daily Half-Life 3 update for April 8th, 2022.